let me go even deeper. We go in a different place. What do you think about rap music in the black community? Are we talking about a positive, a negative?
It's all positive.
Is it just a life?
It's just our bro. We don't.
It's just life.
The thing is, we gotta stop trying to. We try to explain our culture to make other people like it.
No, I'm talking. We just talking between.
This is what I got to say. I kind of feel like, as far this is just my point. This is when it comes down to Lil Nas X and every other motherfucking rapper. You, first of all, when it come to YSL and them, at your big age, somebody influenced you that much.
True.
What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, be responsible for your own self. Whatever the fuck these niggas talk about in their raps, that does not mean you have to go live that, no matter how much you like the song. People love to place blame as to why they do the things they do. No, own it, because that was always in you. You're a murderer because that's who you are, not because Young Thug said it. Like, honestly, I just get tired of people trying to find a reason to place blame in places that don't belong. And that's, like I said, down to Lil Eyes Next. These people saying their kids...
Little Eyes Next.
I mean, Lil Nas X. These people saying his kid's gay because he rap about gay shit or because he's gay or whatever the fuck. Take responsibility for who you are as a person and own that. Stop trying to place blame. I do not feel like I'm such a strong-headed person and I'm such T. I don't give a fuck who raps what. I'm going to do me. I'm going to live my life no matter what I listen to. If it ain't in me, it ain't in me. And it ain't no rap going to build that shit in me. I feel like niggas use these lyrics, taught this person to be that way. That is some corny ass shit, and you kind of need to grow up. That's how I feel.
I beg to differ though.
But you shouldn't really have your, all right, it's like this. I wouldn't have my kids sitting around listening to Thugger lyrics all day. Kids, children. For an adult, you're a grown ass motherfucker. But I can get how people would say, like, these children are influenced by like Young Boy and everybody.
I think they are.
They definitely are.
I think we were influenced by. I think we were influenced by certain music. We just grew up in a different time overall. Like the kids today are not growing up in that time. I think they're influenced by what they're seeing on TikTok. They're influenced by herd mentality. Everybody's doing it. I want to do it. I mean, it's the same thing. Like remember back in the day where we all kept wearing white tees. Like you would go to school and everybody would have white tee. It was something on the news about the white tee gang. You know what I'm saying? We talking about kids.
You gotta think about it. When this is 07, 06, 05 for me.
Yeah,
this is my high school days.
It just kind of still all sounds like bullshit to me because y'all are comparing, and correct me if I'm wrong, y'all are comparing being influenced by wearing a white tee to killing somebody.
No. I actually lived in a place where Lil Boosie influenced a lot of kids, and a lot of kids where I'm from were killing each other.
Okay, well, hopefully, I wish those kids would have had a stronger mind because it's all about your mental stability and who you are as a person.
It's about who builds your mind, though.
Wiz Khalifa, when a Wiz Khalifa songs come on and you smoking, like you probably want to roll another blunt.
No song. I am grown as fuck.
We talking about you as a kid.
And as a kid. I did not smoke when I was a kid. Everybody around me smoked. And I said, ew. I did not, yes.
Why did you start smoking in college?
I started smoking in college because I hit the fucking blunt and I liked it.
But why'd you hit the blunt?
Because it was around me.
That's influence.
Somebody can say at some point you might have been influenced.
It's levels to this shit. Y'all like to look at shit as a black and white.
Not really.
Life is not black and white. Murder is not black and white.
All we saying
if you're saying you're murdering people because of song lyrics, that's not black and white.
It's not like I'm listening to a thug and he's saying I'm gonna slime a nigga out, so I'm saying, oh, I want to go slime a nigga out.
So I'm talking
about a mentality. What we're being fed, the only thing we're taking in, our only reality is trauma through our music, and a big part through rap music. I feel like that's all that's getting to our kids' heads. So you have kids who are in 5th grade wearing the Pooh Shiesty ski mask because they're so influenced by the rap music. And I feel like there's a strong influence.
Most rappers aren't just rappers. They're social influencers.
Exactly. They're influencers.
But you got to think about a child's mind isn't just like that. It has to develop. A kid's mind is all about their environment and the shit that they are around. Your mind, a child's mind.
I pray these kids get strength.
A child's mind can be... It's only as strong as the environment that they're in.
Think about this.
That's just what it is.
Look back at pictures of us in elementary school, in middle school, and look at what we were wearing. Really, middle school, elementary. Look what we were wearing.
So let me
and look at what the kids
of
the kids of that age were today.
I have a question. Mm-hmm. Is this the outlook on gang violence and murder and shit like that?
Gangs is all influence.
Shh. Because you don't know my question.
Break it down. Go ahead. Break it down.
So is this your outlook on gang influence and murders and shit like that? Or do y'all feel like Lil Nas X influenced these kids to be gay?
Sexuality and killing people and dang banging is not the same conversation.
My point. That's my whole point.
What is your point?
My whole point is that Young Thug rapping the song should not influence a kid to go kill people.
We just agreed
Lil Nas X could definitely influence a kid who's already on that borderline of being gay to want to come out and express himself more. He can definitely be influenced to say, I feel like I can come out now because we have a rapper and be comfortable with it. That's influence.
Just
no matter what.
Like with me.
That's influence.
I was influenced by my environment. Like the people I was around, I saw them doing it, so that's what I wanted to do. Now, it was some kids that would take things to another level. Like Boosie talking that gang shit, that Boosie talking about that shooting niggas and shit. It's young niggas I grew up with that was like, oh, I'm going to get me a pistol because the niggas around them had the pistols and the music they was listening to had the pistols. I seen a lot of niggas my age that didn't make it to be my age.
I think where the line is going to be drawn here is how you were raised. Yeah. What honestly your gender, because being a male and the influence that a male could have versus what a female have could be different. And I just think that it's always going to be to each its own at this point. It's going to be to each its own. And whatever happens to you and whatever works for you and whatever influenced you, that's just going to be what it is. Because you literally can't even pin no specific situation to any specific scenario because they're all so different.
So when you see kids nowadays, like, they all look the same. Like, their influence comes, the hairstyles, the dressing, like the things they're doing, it's all the same.
Right here, I think
that's influence.
What it is to me, it is the influence, because let me tell you something. These bitches be 12 years old with a frontal. My child won't.
And you weren't when you were that age.
And I wasn't.
Because you didn't have that influence on you. So now kids, they have an influence of
that's what their mom
you have parents dressing up their kids in full adult outfits.
Fashion Nova.
Full adult outfits.
I will not fucking let my child wear Fashion Nova clothes.
Everything is influenced. Like your parents influence you to be whatever denomination you are in religion. Everything is influenced. I feel like these kids. I feel like hip hop is everywhere. It don't matter your race. It's going to transcend everything.
I know some kids that really grew up in when I was a kid, that really grew up in the system. No mom, no dad, foster parents. You know what I'm saying? Their influences was TV and music.
Yeah.
That's what fed their brain. You know what I'm saying? I know a nigga that couldn't read, but he can recite rap lyrics like it won't nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Couldn't read shit.
Like I see now as an adult, like my major influence was my dad. Like, you know what I'm saying? No matter how far I got out there, you were right. Like, based on how you're raised, like his influence and what he fed me as a kid always brought me back. Always had me having that Trey moment. Like, yo, get out the car. But that influence was there. So a lot of kids who grew up in the system, who grow up in the inner city, who don't have that background at home, that influence is going to take them all the way.
Because the
I'll go
iPads
ahead
are raising
and
the
own
kids.
the fact that influence is influence, whether it's negative or positive.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or whether you take your negative and positive and mix it together. You're influenced to do the things you do or for learning that from somewhere else.
For sure.
And I think my outlook is only on negative influence. I didn't consider the positive influence because, like RJ said, he could have been a bang bang shooter, but he had a good dad at home. His parents are pastors, et cetera, et cetera. So he always had that humbleness and that real life situation to bring him back and say, this ain't even who I am. Versus, let's just say he didn't have that.
You better got good influence, bro. Like, so bro, I had my parents. I grew up in Chesterfield. I had a good life. I didn't grow up with money. You feel me? So me growing, like my mom got sick. So me coming to a certain age of wanting to make my own decisions, I was like, I'm going to try to get out here and get money. And you feel me? And all the influences that came with that lifestyle led me to wherever I was gonna go in. But the major influence of my parents, the major influence of my dad's voice and what he fed me had me come back at some point. That could, you feel me? But in between there, I could have died. I could have died at some point, got locked up. It's just that by the grace of God, you feel me? I got through that point. But a nigga like him got locked up, got popped, by the grace of God, got through that point. You know what I'm saying? But the influence on black men, especially young black men, man, it comes from like this. We have this crazy attachment to trauma in our music, in our movies. It's always, you feel me, slave against the slave master. You in the hood, you in the project, you're trying to become a rapper.
Or it's the wife being cheated on.
The wife being
man.
cheated on. It's trauma.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all type of shit.
We are fed so much trauma.
Beat.
Our influence is trauma, and then you have an album like Kendrick Lamar come out, and people are saying like, "Oh, it's too this, it's too that," but I think it's really art.
I think it's time to talk about that Kendrick album.
Let's talk about it.
First of all,
First
my
K.
favorite
Dizot.
song on